Shalom, shalom. Back out here Friday. As usual, respect the business, you know, standing on business, like they say. Well, ain't nobody standing on business but the man of the Lord, you know. And that's it in a nutshell. Before I get started, I'm gonna give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakadash, and man, all hell breaking out here. All hell breaking loose. Got Israel and Iran, LA riots, Chicago riots, you got this wicked holiday coming up Sunday. So hey man, it's a lot going on this week. You know, the water y'all about shimmy on the shelf, man, but they will see another. We're gonna get into it because you tribes, the northern tribe primarily right now, y'all asses in the hot seat. Like you're being rounded up like cattle, you know? You're being rounded up like cattle out here. You know, so this is all a prelude to Jacob's trouble. You know, you can get an idea what Jacob's trouble is gonna look like. You know, mass rioting in the streets, looting, shootouts, all the above. You know, gonna be a lot of graping going on. Both the men and women gonna get raped. You know what I'm talking about. You know, so there's some serious times coming here, man. And it look like Trump, El Trumpo is gonna be the man to get it started. He might be the closer, you know, to put the finishing touches on this place known as America, man. You know, the closer for the bankers, man. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, so on and so on. You know, so he may be that guy. You know, they got the Marines out there, the National Guard, and it's looking very, very Jacob Troublish. You know, with the description that the scriptures give us, man. You know, in Second Esdras, you know, where it talks about insurrections, you know, talking about how the troops gonna be like madmen sparing none. So we moving into some very prophetic times. You know, eventually they got to come to pass. You know, eventually it has to come to pass. You know, so I believe we're pretty close. You know, the spirit kind of hit me last night, and I was like, man, this could damn well be it, man. This could be the snowball, man. You know, this thing can snowball into all out hell breaking loose. You know, you even got people on TV, you know, with the buzzword civil war, race war, you know, economy collapsing, martial law. So hey, man, it's beautiful times. Beautiful times for the man of the Lord. But the tribes, man, y'all thinking this place is gonna go on and on and on, man. It's circling the dream right now. You know, it's circling the damn dream. And you steady trying to get a leg up here in this damn place known as Babylon, America. You know, and it looks like you're too fucking late. You can go to Jeremiah, get the precepts, get these precepts rolling. It was Jeremiah 28 and 8. Prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied of both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. Yeah, so just like the prophets before, fast forward to the day, so I'm back in my lot doing the same thing. Prophesying, man. Then you know this shit's got to come to a close. You know, America's on its way out. You know, I've been telling you that Israel and Iran's gonna go to war, man. Not the least of the flock gonna draw them out. Talking about them small heads. Talking about evil, ill times. You know, food banks are steadily overwhelmed. You know, Trump is fucking up these people. EBT, SNAP. You know, but it's all from the Lord, man, the Most High. Because we're getting closer and closer to finally judging America for all the wickedness is done. And primarily for spilling the blood of the Israelites. You know? We spilled the blood of the so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans on this land, you know, and not including the wickedness that you push all over the world upon the other nations. You know, but primarily for spilling the blood of the saints, man. And like I said, you got a long tab, man, to pay. It's been building up and building up. Eventually, the amount is due. You know, there's no more, extensions on that bill, on that judgment. Eventually, it has to come to pass. You know, so it's time to collect. Just like the men of old, prophets before, man, prophesied the ill times that we're coming into. And here we are saying, hey, man, you're about to go into some iller times because the time that's coming is Jacob's trouble. It's gonna be worse than any other time ever recorded in history, man. You know, no day. You know, you can go back to 600 BCE, man. None of that's on top of what's coming. You know, World War One, World War Two is gonna be like a day at Chuck E. Cheese, man, compared to what's coming. You know, it's gonna be like a day at the park. You know, so as you see, things are turning up. You know, things are getting very, very heated out here, man. Very heated. You know, it's just a matter of time where it spiral out of control. It's just a matter of time. You know, so hey, I gotta stock up on me some popcorn this weekend. You know, I'm fresh out of popcorn. You know, I've been busy all this week, so I really ain't had time to go stop by and pick some up like I want. And on top of that, you know, on the damn plantation, keeping me busy. You know, always got the ripping and running. But Lord willing, Saturday, I'm gonna stock up on the popcorn and get back on the live feed, man, watching these riots. You know, so hey, man, the Lord's turning up on the northern tribes, so-called Latinos, man. You know, putting the foot in y'all ass right now. You know, went and voted for Trump. It was Latinos for Trump. You got what you asked for, man. You can't complain. You can't complain. You know what I'm saying? You should have stuck with Kamami, you know, the collard green goddess. You know, let's get some more precepts. The way things are going, man, this weekend could be, I know there was a lot of talk, a lot of chatter talking about between now and maybe the 4th of July, talking about they can see some a mass casualty event here in the U.S., man. With all the rioting that's going on. So hey, only time to tell. Once that start, we know all they're gonna do is come with more lockdowns or more clampdowns. Take more of your rights away from you. And you silly people, especially you dumb Americans, you're gonna fall for it. You're gonna say, you know what, let's get rid of all the you know, trying to be trying to conceal your identity. You're gonna be looking to do anything once they start dubbing you terrorists, which they plan on doing. Because eventually this is gonna turn around to be a white supremacist, man. They're gonna spin it, and it's gonna be a white MAGA supporter. And next thing you know, the roundup gonna start, man. They're gonna drown up the roundup. The roundup drums gonna start beating. Like, oh, you supported MAGA, and hey, you just might be a terrorist, man. According to CIA and FBI papers, you are a terrorist. You know what I'm saying? So hey, it's just all of a big plan of the elite. And you people choosing sides, and you just don't know you the target. You are the target, no matter what side you pick. I hate all y'all. If you're not being invited to Davos, Switzerland, you ain't at these Bilderberg meetings, Davos meetings, you ain't on the Council of Foreign Relations. And hey, you just trash to these elite, useless eaters. And they don't see nothing wrong with, you know, uh, putting you out of your damn body, man. You know, they don't see nothing wrong with, drafting you, man, because the draft is coming too. This war with Israel and Iran, hey, you're gonna see how much of American you are, and how patriotic you are when you get them damn draft papers. You know, so the wicked elite don't mind sending your kids off to fight their wars, and that's what's gonna happen here soon. Let them, Lord willing, it's all through the spirit, but we're gonna see how these riots shape things. Shape policy, shape the minds of the masses. Once they get that fear going, they unstoppable. All they gotta do is drum up a lot of fear and have you people bugged out of your mind, turning on one another. Hey, and then they just might, crash the economy. Lay it on thick. Turn the lights out, have blackouts. Who's to say what the wicked elite got up their sleeve? But all this is on the drawing board. And hey, you can go to Isaiah 45:7, I believe, man. The Most High talk about where He forms the evil. So this is all the plans. Like how about Shimmy our shop, man? Put hell on you tribes and to bring Babylon down to its knees, man. And once Babylon get to her knees, finish that bitch off with the missiles, man. Fire! You know? With the nuclear, thermonuclear ICBM missiles. Hey, like I said, man, these some very, very interesting times. Man, they need to cut this fucking grass over here. Man. What the hell they doing? Like a damn jungle over here. It's Jeremiah 50 and 33. There says Yahweh a host, the children of Israel and the children of Judah. Yeah, so the northern and the southern kingdom were oppressed together. So yeah, we oppressed together, man. The north and the south. But you know, you having the curses on you, and you being too stupid to realize it. You know, you can't see that you oppressed together. You know, only the Most High can wake you out of this stupor that you in. You know, to get you through the cloud of bullshit that Esau Edom produces, man. Through his media, you know, with his social engineering. You know, he got his classes, races, race divisions, class divisions. You know, and it puts all you people in certain blocks, certain sections. You know, and you thinking you different from somebody, but actually you're not. You know, you're just a slave at the end of the day. You know, you're a slave to the bankers, man. And you northern tribes, you're a slave to Esau Edom, man. Right here in America. You know, you just got a permission to roam the plantation. Yeah, you can pick up and move to Oklahoma, you know, Oregon or somewhere. Yeah, you can do all that. But you're just going to a different plantation, man, which is ran and controlled by Esau Edom, man. I don't care how many niggas they put up there in Congress, you know, up in DC, making you feel like you got some type of representation. You don't. Look on the money. That's who controls you, man. That's who owns you. You just pull out the money in your pocket and look down, and you don't see no niggas or no wetbacks on this money. You know, or no prairie niggas. You see the so-called white man face on it. So that's who owns you. That's who owns your ass. Don't give a fuck how much you get on the video, trying to flash your money, talking about you got this and that. But nigga, you still a slave, man. You know, you still a slave. Look about this Jeremiah 50 and 33. It says, thus says Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. So both of us were held captive, man, and they refused to let us go. Still to this day, you know. Now we back under the Edomite captivity, American captivity, and they refused to let us go, man. You still property of Esau Edom, man. You know, our evil brother, you know, or our wicked uncle, what do you want to call him? You know, and now we're dealing with his damn kids. You know, and they still got that hate in them, just like Esau did, man, when he said, you know, he was going to slay his brother Jacob. So they still carrying that same spirit to this day. You know, in Hosea 12 and 7, where it says he's a merchant, he loved to oppress, man. You know, we love to oppress you. You know, it's nothing for him to tax the hell out of you, man. And you working for pennies, you know? Or you even get your money, you take his off the top, you know? So you ain't oppressed and you don't understand the big picture, man. Anytime somebody can get their hands in your money before you can even see it or touch it, you got somebody over you, man. And then you simple niggas will say, well, you know, everybody pay taxes, you know? Everybody, you know, gotta pay a tax, a sales tax, you know? If you being an Israelite, man, you don't supposed to be paying no damn taxes to nobody. You don't pay tribute to another nation. You're supposed to be paying us tribute, man. So that's why the Lord ain't dealing with a lot of y'all, because y'all just too stupid to get this, man. You know? A lot of y'all just don't have the brains to get this, man. You know, so that's why the Lord chose only a few men, or a remnant, men and women, man. Because this is a very simple but very complex when you see how everything ties in together. And a lot of y'all don't have that type of brain capacity. The Lord just didn't give it to you. You know, you can't think outside of your baby mama or your baby daddy, man. You can't think past that, you know, or your damn stomach. You know, you got urges like a damn beast, man. You know, you think like a damn animal. You know, dog hungry, he eats. Got to, you know, itch, you scratch. You know, just simple shit. You know, and that's why the Lord ain't dealing with a lot of y'all, man. That's why He raised up a few good men and women to do this work, man. You know, he rose the men up to do this. You know, you ain't gonna catch no women out here doing this. You know, that ain't their job. You know, the earth is, you know, way more, you know, complex than fucking Cardi B and, you know, what's that clown name? Young Thug or whoever it is you got up there. You know, Bruno Mars. They're, the world's more complex than that, man. You know, who banging who? Who gives a damn, man? That's what humans do. Humans have sex. Everybody, oh, such and such banging this person. Who gives a fuck? You know, that's what you do. You have sex. You fuck. Jeez, grow up. You know. Not bad. I went off on a spiritual rant there. Get back on topic here. You know. All right. Let me see. Jeremiah 50:34. Their Redeemer is strong. Yahweh of hosts or armies is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he might give rest to the land, that land being Israel, and there's no rest in that land right now, man. I wonder why. I wonder why. But you anti-S if you say something different, you know? Let's go on. It says, and he disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Matter of fact, let's pull that up in the NLT. I don't know why I won't pull up the rest. Let me see. So, yeah, the inhabitants, it says, but the turmoil to those who live in Babylon. You know where it says, and the disquiet inhabitants of Babylon. So, yeah, you seeing nothing but turmoil going on, man. Nothing but turmoil going on. And that's for the inhabitants of Babylon, known as America. Because all the wickedness that went on in Babylon, ancient Babylon, America took on all that. Nineveh, Egypt, Sodom, Gomorrah, you know, Assyria. No, you can get all that right here, man. You ain't got to go to jet set. You ain't got a jet set, man. You know, them ancient deities, that's still going on to this day, man. They still worshiping that. So you ain't got to go jet setting and checking out all these museums. You just walk the street or turn the damn TV on, man, and see it right here. You know, you just walk down the street, man. Let's go to Baruch. 2 and 30. This is Baruch 2 and 30, where I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people. Yeah, you Israelites are stiff-necked people. I mean, nobody can tell you what to damn do. The Most High said they not gonna listen to you, but they don't listen to me. But you still got to go out there and talk to these damn idiots. You know, you still got to talk to these damn knuckleheads. Yeah, it falls on deaf ears, but hey, it's just part of the job. You know, even Jake on the job, man. The simple things they tell him to do this, won't do it. You know, something easy is just, you know, before you leave, man, fuel up. So you don't have to get fuel in the morning. Can't even do that. You know, so Jake is just stubborn, man. Jake want to do whatever the hell they want to do. You know, and hey, I'm guilty of it myself too, man. Cause it's just some things I just ain't gonna let them do. You know, for the most part, you know, you do what you can, but you trying to fucking play me like I'm stupid. You know, or I just do anything. You know, you gotta draw the line somewhere. But the simple stuff to keep me employed, you know, I do that, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, man, you gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them, man. You gotta know when to hold them and you know, I gotta win sometimes. So you got to be careful, man. Cause the shit's getting crazy out here. And Jake's stiff neck as hell. You know, they out here just acting a damn fool. You know? Let's read that over. Root 2 and 30. For I knew that they would not hear me because of the stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. So we're remembering ourselves in the land of captivity, known as America, man. So I'm fully awake. You know, I know who my oppressor is. I know who hate me. Know where I come from, who I am. So this got to be it, man. This has to be it. You know, I've been refreshed, man. Because in the beginning, you any and everything, man. Negro, black, African American, you any and everything. Then this truth hit you, and you start getting all through the cloud, man, the cloudiness. You've been told all your life. You've been told, you just swinging from trees and shit in Africa, man. And they came and got us, which was all a lie, man. You know, we were just hanging out, fucking in mud huts and shit. Let them tell it, I wonder why it's like you could never get no history on us. Everything just started from you was on a boat and that was it. I'm like, some shit ain't adding up. You know, it'll cross your mind from time to time, which was the spirit. I'm like, so we was in Africa, ended up on a boat, and we here. All right, so what about before then? So that's when that Egyptology shit came in. Like, okay, I see what you're talking about, but then it's like, if we was in Egypt then, we was the Egyptians. Everybody couldn't be kings and queens then. Like, who was doing the work? You know? It just shit. I kept asking questions after question. Like, after a while, it sounds good, but then you get to thinking, like, that don't sound right. So you mean to tell me all these kings and queens and we ain't have no servants? That didn't make sense. Like, somebody had to build the pyramids. And so the truth bust that whole myth up, man. So, hey, man, it was just the spirit of the Lord, man. It was the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Because I always wondered, still would ask questions. I'll never forget that day, man. Watching that video. It was some, it pop up in your video list. I was all wrapped up in that Egypt bullshit, Egyptology. And then groups of all groups, ISUPK, man, they had a video on there. I'm like, oh man, hold on, this makes sense. Like, this starting to tie some shit together. Starting to answer a lot of questions that I had. Then you go to IUIC, like, that sounds good, but something ain't right about them. And then, hey, I saw the clip on World Star, man, with the brothers in San Fran going in. Then the rest was history, when they was out there on the block, they had them clips of them cussing everybody out on the block. I'm like, damn, this is something I can get involved with, I'm like, I'm liking this. This the side of Christianity I've been missing my whole life, And so then after that, you start getting in GMS, and after that, the rest was history, man. And fast forward, here I am. What, going on 8 years later? Still doing this, man. Hell, I couldn't wait to get out here today. So much shit going on in the news. Israel, Iran, the riots. Man, it's the time to be on the block now, man. Be out here on these highways and byways. This ain't time to be sitting on your hands. This ain't time to be walking around holding hands with your boo, eating the ice cream cone together, man. You know, shit is getting real. You know, so I can't wait to get out here today. You know, when you start seeing stuff in the news, these prophecies popping. You know, that just light that fire up even more, man. That fire start burning even hotter. Like, man, we almost out of here, man. You know, so I hope Israel and Iran shoot more missiles at each other tonight. You know, I hope they loading them up right now. You know, they need some help. You know, I'm just tripping. I don't like either side. You know, I help them both load that shit up. You know, I'm Team Israel, man. That's it. But Israel and Iran is a big part of prophecy, man. And then the news article came out today saying how the U.S. was helping Israel shoot down the missiles. So hey, Russia got to say something. You know, the Russians got to step in and say something. They supposed to be Iran's help. You know, they supposed to be a guard unto Iran. You know, so maybe Russia's gonna step in here, step in the scene. Hey man, we about to see World War III pop off, Lord willing. You know, so a lot of you young and able bodies about to get sent off to a war, man. You know, so you might want to go hold hands with your boo and eat some ice cream, because the next few months you might be having some fatigues, a rifle, and a helmet, man. You know, we know some things got to come to pass first, but hey, man, this this could be the domino, man, that triggers everything, man. That one domino. We just need that one domino. I was speaking about that last week. Need that one domino to fall, man. Just click, 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 click. You know, Jacob's trouble, economy collapsing. You know, World War III, man. The RFID microchip, MOTB. So hey, man, you know how the spirit is. You know, it can heat up real quick, then cool off for a few months or for a year. Right now, it's back hot again. You know, it's back hot, and we're gonna go with that in the spirit, man. Hey, so we getting closer and closer. You know, the troops are already on the streets, man. You know, you got the Marines deployed, National Guard. You know, and there's some other cities. I think Texas about to send their National Guard out. So hey, man, we could be looking at martial law soon. You know, we could be in a lockdown soon, man. You know, they could be using this riots as a disguise, man, to just to put troops out on the street. So we gotta stay circumspect, bro. Can't be ignorant of Satan's devices. You know, because they'll give you something up front, but reality is something else. Hey, and this could be the prelude to martial law, man. You know, we're gonna see some shit then, boy. You got to learn how to shoot that rifle out here in these streets. And I'm surprised they're not marching down here in New Orleans, man. I'm surprised they ain't started that No Kings movement or something down here yet. You know, I think they figure out that, these niggas down here ain't gonna do nothing, man. You know, they too damn poor to do anything. You know, they just want to go down there and bourbon and party and drink and smoke, man. They really ain't trying to protest. You know, the so-called Negroes down here ain't trying to protest nothing, man. You know, they got the po' boys down there, the damn fried chicken places all over the damn quarter, and all the damn daiquiris you can drink. I'm trying to think, what was that last march they did down here? Was it George Floyd shit? I don't know, but it fizzled out, man. Fizzled out. You know, they really ain't trying to protest down. They just trying to party. You know, that might work in Baton Rouge or something. You know, they ain't got a whole lot going on over there. So who knows? Who see they might try it again. Only time will tell. Only time will tell, man. You know, I'm just gonna sit there and watch. You know, on YouTube on a live cam and have my popcorn going. Watching y'all get tear gas. You know, laughing. You know, spitting popcorn all over the place, laughing. Or y'all getting tear gas and beat with nightsticks. Man. I'm gonna be loving it. You know what I'm saying? You know, let's go on with some more, man. Let's get some more of that Jeremiah before I get out of here. This Jeremiah 2:14 says, Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Yeah, Jake is a homeborn slave, man, a servant. You got these damn tribes fighting to stay over here, man. It's work. You know, they out of their fucking mind. They want to stay here and fucking work. Man, Jake is a damn slave, man. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, big old coons, man. You know, I work because I got fucking bills to pay. But believe me, any day I can get off, I take it. Yeah, I'm thinking about taking me another day off, man. I don't think I can make it to the fourth. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking of a day I could just take just because. You know, so hey, it's whatever with me. So that's why is he spoiled? Because y'all broke the law, statute, and commandments, man. That's how you became a spoil. You want to go do your own thing. You want to worship other powers, other gods. So the Lord said, you know what? I'm gonna have these other nations rule over you, man, and kick you in your ass. And fast forward today to the day, that's exactly what's going on. You know, we got the foot of Esau Edom, man, the so-called white man. He got his foot on our neck. Man. You know, yeah, he'll let you make a little bit of money, you know, get you a nice little house, but you gonna pay him in them damn taxes, though. You gonna pay them fucking taxes. Go ahead, get out of line. He gonna give your ass 100 years, man. You know what I'm saying? You fuck up. He gonna give your ass 100 years in the pen. You know, so you gotta walk on eggshells. Yeah, he'll let you niggas play football and basketball. You know, entertain him. He'll give you some contracts, some music contracts, sing to make him some money and entertain him. But at the end of the day, you ain't nothing but a nigga. That's it.
How you doing?
All right, you. At the end of the day, for the so-called white man, you nothing but a nigga, man. or a damn wetback. That's it. So that's why people get confused, man. The so-called white man let you have a little bit of something. You know, you think he like you, man. Like he's changed or something. You know? You know, he'll give you a couple of dollars. Like I said, he'll let you run up and down the football field. You know, shoot a few 3-pointers for a couple $100 million or something. But you ain't never gonna own the damn team, though. You know, you'll be a fucking high-paid employee. That's it. You ain't gonna never build a fucking stadium, no, man, and have Jerome on the front. You know, you can work them concession stands or something. You know, you can always be an employee, but you'll be a good one, though. You know what I'm saying? Or you can sell his shoes for him, but you ain't gonna have no damn Tyrone shoe company, though. So yeah, these dumb niggas still oppressed, man. Like here, what's that? They gave Jay-Z like 2%, 1% of ownership or something. You might well just be a fucking mascot, man. What you gonna do with 1%? That's probably just enough to pay the damn property taxes on your damn house. Maybe. You know, so y'all get on there boasting, oh, I got 2% ownership in this team. Man, you ain't nothing but a fucking mascot, man. That's all. You know? But hey, that's how you can. Our people don't need much, man. I mean, a couple $100 and some new shoes and a fucking T-shirt. They think they fucking Bill Gates, man. And don't get a nigga a gold chain, man. You think you fucking Elon Musk, you know? And Pedro, don't give Pedro a damn new dually or a damn new Chevy truck. You know, he think he fucking hit the Powerball, man. You know, and Gad, so-called Native Americans, man, they don't want them much some alcohol, man, and dope, and they good with that. As long as they could be called the what's that? Native Americans. That's all they want, man. So that's why the Lord ain't dealing with their asses, man. You know, he dealing with the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, man. We want more than that. You know, matter of fact, we've been promised more than that, man. You ain't gonna keep giving me damn marbles and jacks and damn wood toys, man, and telling me it's okay, you know, or giving me the crumbs. Hell with that. I need the whole pie like Domino's and the company, man, with the recipe. I need it all. I need that. You know, so hey, man, Jake became a spoiled man. You know, Jake like to get on and talk tough, this, that, and the third, but at the end of the day, you just a worm, man. You just a worm. You know, scripture even speak about how you just a worm, Jacob, that worm, man. You got no defense, man. You're helpless out here. You could be fucking rounded up, killed at any given moment, man. Any given moment. And that's what the Lord said, man. You want to do what you want to do, and I'm gonna give you over to whoever I want to, man. And they gonna fucking do whatever they want to, and it's all sanctioned by me, man. And that's the wild part. Lord said, whatever they want to do, let them do it. But there's a consequence to everything, man. You got to pay for it. And now you're seeing the result. Drugged out, bottom of everything, most hated. You know, you the most hated, man. I would hate to see you come. That's what happened, man. You become a spoil. Scripture speaks about in Jeremiah how your lovers have forgotten thee, man. Your lovers have forgotten thee. Yeah, these other nations have forgotten you, man. They got you sinning, eating all kind of abominable foods, committing adultery, doing whatever you want to do. Let you tell it. What they say, I got my own free will. You choose I choose my own path. Well, you wrong about that. You only have your own path to choose, man. You got liberty, but you don't have your own free will, man. You bound by the law. You niggas screwed up inside joke. you know, you niggas screwed up. You say you're gonna keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You done fucked up. You should have never agreed that you was gonna keep the covenant, man. You should have never agreed. You niggas screwed up. So like I had to bring that up. Hey, so you can't get out of the contract, Dick. You can't get out the fucking contract, bro. You gotta. This law is forever, man. Forever and ever. So hey, you don't want to keep the contract, then you got to pay the Most High some kind of way. Either you're gonna do the work or you're gonna get put to death, man. And might I add, you could be doing the work and still get put to death. There's some brothers that's been doing this and died in this truth, man. So you can't say, oh, I'm doing the work, I'm doing the will of the Most High, and you safe from judgment. No, it don't work that way. You still could get put to death even though you're doing this, man. But the scripture said, man, ain't nobody perish being innocent, man. All of Israel, all y'all, everybody, we all worthy of death, man. So you can't be like, oh, well, I get in this truth, I'm doing the work. Most ain't gonna kill me. Hey, even a dog with that. So hey, just because you're doing this truth, the curses don't go away. The curses is still on you, man. The Lord throw you a bone here and there. He got his eyes on you. He hear your prayers. You got a direct line to the Son. And the Son, or is it Raphael that takes the prayers? I forget. It's one of the angels that take the prayers to Yahweh Shah, I believe. Or is that the healing? It's been a while since I went over to Salaki. I don't want to twist it up. But yeah, man, you could pray straight to Yahweh Shah, man. That I do know. That was about that whole veil being ripped. But you can pray directly to Yahweh Shah, man, and he take the prayers to the Father, man. So you got a direct line, you know, to the top. I'm talking about the elect and the hopeful elect. I ain't talking about you 2/3. Lord say he don't even hear you niggas' prayers, you cries, man. You say you gonna laugh at your fucking calamities. So the Lord's laughing at you niggas out there in LA, man. Getting rounded up, getting tear gas, getting rubber bullets shot with rubber bullets. Most High Yahweh is sitting back having a good chuckle. But yeah, but like I was saying, you can get into this truth and still become still get sent to the spirit world. So you can't take a day for granted. Like you gotta come out here week in and week out, man. It men died coming out, and they kept doing the work until they died, man. So you don't know. I was saying, hey, the elect is gonna make it, no matter what, man. They didn't. They died physically, but spirit lives on. Let me clear that up. They gonna be on them chariots with Yahweh Shah, man, when they come back to deliver the elect. So hey, you just gotta keep pushing, bro. Cause you don't know what week might be your last week out here. You don't know. Hell, today could be my last day. This could be the last week. Could be your last week. Who knows? That's why you can't take this work for granted, man. You gotta come out here and push it week in, week out. And you just ask, Lord willing, that I see another week or another day, man. That's all you can do. That's all we can do, man. Hey, I think I'm gonna be ready to get out of here. End it on that, though. But yeah, you tribes, man. You about to get in some serious trouble here, man. Lord willing, this Jacob's trouble kick off this year, man. Hopefully, this martial law will keep it, like what's the place Tyrese say, keep it a buck, you know. I pray the Lord use this time with these troops on the street, man, to get you people rounded up. I'm talking about you 2/3, man. You've been proud and wicked for too long, man. And I can't wait to the Lord collect on you, man. I can't wait till the Most High pulls up. You know? So, I didn't have my stick out here today, man. A little too windy. I didn't feel like being you gotta catch it from blowing over. Like every time I want to come to camp, man, the wind start blowing. So it could be a thing. Hey, the Most High don't want people to get it, man. Don't want Jake to get it. Just come out here and preach. Come out here and teach. The days when it's not windy, I had a stick out. So hey, you gotta look at it like that. Like I said, man, all I gotta do is ask, say, hey, Lord willing, I'll be out here next week, and I'm gonna get ready to lock into the news this weekend, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get on the live tonight. Go get on some live and see what's going on in the world, man. See what Israel got going on. See what the LA riots got going on. Or Chicago riots. Who knows? It don't even matter where they riding, man. I'm gonna find me a damn live feed. And I'm just gonna sit back and relax, man. Kick my feet up and laugh. We told y'all it was coming, man. We told y'all as it was gonna come. But hey, Jake is stiff necked. You know, he thought the man of the Lord just out here talking, wasting our breath, man. That's why the Lord said, come out here and prophesy to the wind, man. Roughly paraphrasing. Say, whether they hear or whether they forbear, man. So for the man of the Lord, man, we don't give a damn whether you listen or not. You know, once I turn this camera off and I get in this car, go home, that's a wrap. You know, I'm thinking about my next lesson. You know, so whether you get this or you don't, I ain't losing no sleep. Let's see, I'm sure if I can make it back in time, maybe I go get that damn popcorn like I want. You know, 'cause I think this the weekend to start shipping in the popcorn. You know, it might be junk food. Might be a junk food weekend for me, man. All these live feeds going on. But hey, man, before I get out of here, I'm gonna give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Pakadash, Shalom.